Okay, hello there, and this video is for my fourth block health systems orientation course, and this is probably a little awkward. I've never actually recorded myself when I've been screencasting before, but what I'm going to do is make this video for Miss Pruitt, who's our sub today, and that way I can just kind of take you through our plan for the day, which is you guys have your HIPAA quiz, your HIPAA exam, rather, as multiple choice, but then you're going to get started on your HIPAA Jingle project, and I'm so sad, I'm sorry that I'm not there to introduce it to you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through our health systems orientation course with you. You can have your computers open. You don't have to be going through this with me. You just need to be watching. But Miss Pruitt should be able to have her computer open on the wall, and she can just play this video that's posted embarrassingly on YouTube. So let's go ahead and get started for the day. Here's what I'm going to need from everybody is this. You should have, at this point, already reviewed for your HIPAA quiz with Miss Pruitt, and she should have asked you, hopefully, to have a Word document open. Okay, you want a Word document open. You need your HIPAA mind map open, which is on bubble.us, and you need a copy of the HIPAA quiz open. So let's go ahead and take a look at the screen here. The particular links that I'm mentioning that you're going to need open. Now, the three most important are right here, sorry, no, up here, up top. We have the sample answer sheet, which is going to show you what your Word document should look like. And then the HIPAA quiz. You guys are going to open up your HIPAA quiz, and that's what you will be looking at. Now, the important thing is this. You are not actually going to print this off. I'm not going to give you copies of it to fill out. You are actually going to give me a digital version. So if you were to click on this sample answer sheet, you don't actually have to open this up. And honestly, you can't even edit it. But all it is a PDF for you to see the format that I need you to be putting your answers in. And so what you'll do is you open a Word document. You'll notice you put your name up here. So like, for example, Frederick von Jungle or whatever, and you write HIPAA quiz answers. And if you click on the Word, you click on this little bullet point thing up here. You can make bullet points. I would prefer numbers, but there are 24 items on this quiz, and they're all multiple choice, A through D. And I think I might have one A through E. But you need to put your answers on this, and you're going to save this. I would suggest you save it to your desktop. Because immediately after you do this, what I need you to do is go over to your email utility, whatever that would be. Like, for example, mine's Gmail. You go to Gmail, and you're going to email it to me, and you're also going to email it to yourself. And since this video is up on YouTube, I'm going to say, well, I assume you know what my email address is. I'm not going to, like, throw it out there on the interweb. Because, just people, they just love me so much, and I don't want them emailing me out the wazoo. So recall that you may have your mind map open when you take this quiz. Now, I say your mind map open. I understand that I'm trusting you all. You have the internet at your fingertips. So please do not be Googling the answers. I trust you to actually just do these on your own with your mind map. So once you're done with your quiz, again, you're going to email it to me. You're going to email it to yourself. And then we'll go back over and we'll look at this HIPAA Jingle project. Now, I have approximately 10 minutes to lay this on you, but we're actually going to go through this as if I were in class with you. So the document that I'm actually looking at, if you scroll down on our health systems page, where is it here? Down here. No. Here it is. So these three Word documents here. We have the HIPAA Jingle project rubric, and we're going to talk about how I'm going to be grading you on this project. The Jingle information organizer, which is what everybody will want to open and save a copy of. And then I've got a little write-up here that I'm not going to open, but it was about the first annual HIPAA Jingle project winners from last year. I did a little write-up for them, and I'll tell you a little bit about that. But here's what I'm going to tell you. Ladies and gentlemen, we have now made a mind map over the HIPAA Jingle, over HIPAA in the legislation. You've now taken an exam after you've taken the exam. And so those two things are done, and those are like buku points on your grade. That's like half your grade, you put those together. But the biggest part of this, and you can see what I've written here, I say, okay, folks, here are the documents that will be needed for us to start and complete our HIPAA Jingles. Remember, I just need to measure what you know, okay? And the fun thing for me about being a teacher is this. When I say, what do I want students to know, and then how do I know when they know it, it doesn't say in the rule book, how I'm going to measure how you know these things. So I've given you a test, and we can do that all year long. I could just like test you on everything. Or we could have fun with this, which is what I want to do. So you guys, we're going to have fun with this. What I'm going to ask you to do is create an original work, and I'm going to call this a jingle. Now, what is a jingle? It's like a small song, okay, or something like that, like McDonald's, and a ba-da-ba-ba-ba, but something that sticks in your head. And what I'm going to ask you guys to do is create not necessarily a jingle, but I'm going to open up this information organizer. I've actually got it open already, but it's going to look like this, and we can take a look at this, and maybe I'll change the view here. But essentially, we'll go to 100%. 100, well, let's zoom in then. Here we go. But the bottom line is this, guys. I'm going to ask you guys to create an original work that is in one of these following forms or any combination thereof. And yes, you can roll your eyes at this point because it's going to be totally embarrassing when you guys do this. But you're going to create a song, a commercial, or a jingle, or any combination of these three. But what it's going to do is it's basically going to share with me the information that you've learned about HIPAA. So like what kinds of things could you talk about? Well, you could talk about PHI, you could talk about who needs to know, you can talk about the history of the legislation, you can talk about penalties and fines, or any combination of those things. But you guys are going to share your wealth of information about HIPAA using one of those kind of three formats or any combination thereof. So now if you're freaking out at this point, let's go take a look at this site that we're going to be using, Vocaroo.com. Vocaroo.com. This is really kind of a basic site, but you'll notice it says it's an online voice recorder. So if you are freaking out, man, that you have to make a commercial with group members, the fact of the matter is this: we at least won't be able to see your faces. When you do this, it'll be like a radio commercial. So this is going to actually make you have to, well, it's going to require you to be a little bit more creative because, you know, if I can't see you and you have to share information and make it fun and interesting, and I can only hear you, then you're going to have to be able to articulate things a little bit better, like sound effects. You know, we can go find them on the web, or you can make your own, or, you know, I will say when we go over the rubric, I'm going to say everybody, you know, you have to be able to hear their voice in the group if you want like a 3. So yeah, we're going to have to be creative. So this Vocaroo site is nice because you can just click to record and you can email that to me, but you can also embed it in a website, which, by the way, if you recall me saying, eventually we're going to be creating our own websites that you're going to be embedding your projects in. So it'll be a really good way for you guys to showcase yourselves. So yeah, back over to that HIPAA Jingle project overview. Well, I'll tell you what, we can go ahead and read through this a little bit, but I know you can have this in front of you. But essentially, some things I want to mention. The final project has to be emailed to me. It shall include the recording in an audio format from Vocaroo. By the way, all groups have to email me also the embed code. If you don't, it is an incomplete. And I'll tell you what, the embed code, it's Control-C, Control-V, baby. It's just you copy-paste it into an email to me. But I'll tell you what, I also want to mention this. It is a group-based assignment. Therefore, all group members receive the same grade with this little emoticon right there. What I'm going to tell you is this. I was that kid in high school, man, that you put me in a group with other people, and essentially I did all the work because I needed to make sure I got an A, and I'm just OCD and messed up in the head a little bit. So, excuse me, this is going to be a good exercise for people like me that have to learn to give up power a little bit. But I will tell you this, even if a person is gone on the day that you guys are responsible for recording, they're still responsible for recording this with you. So we need to really coordinate on this one. I'll make sure I give you some in-class time. So here's what I can tell you. If I'm going to ask you to share with me your love and knowledge of HIPAA and make a fool out of yourself when doing so, then we better have fun with this. So here's what I can do for you guys. I give back a little bit. We're going to have a little bit of a competition. And what do I mean by competition? I mean in-class competition, so intra-class competition within, say, 4th block or within 2nd block or, you know, 1st block if I have you in any of those blocks. But we're also going to compete against all my other health systems orientation courses. So since we're putting in all this hard work, being creative and technically literate and sharing all our knowledge of HIPAA, and you're doing all this for me and making fools of yourselves, sorry, plural. What I'm going to do is this. We're going to dedicate a day. It'll be like elementary school again, where you guys can bring in any snacks, any food, anything you want. We'll have a listening party, and we will listen to everybody's commercials. And it'll be fun because people that aren't even in your class, you know, you sit there and you say, oh, that's totally so-and-so. And it's really fun to see what people come up with. And yeah, and we'll just have a great day. So that being said, to sweeten the pot a little bit here, what I can tell you is this. Within your individual class, so I say this in-class competition if you're looking at this document, I say you'll be competing against your peers in class, and honestly, I'm the despot, I'm the authoritarian rule in the class, so I'm just going to choose a class winner, the one I think was most creative and most informative, and honestly, I don't have to explain myself, I just like it, you know? That's part of this. So those people, I've been informed, Mike and Ike's are no longer called Mike and Ike's, but just Mike's, but everybody gets a box of Mike and Ike's in that group. I know that's really silly, but hey, Mike and Ike's in one hand and no Mike and Ike's in the other hand. This is like a really easy decision for me. But you get something back. Now here comes the big class competition. This should say inter-class competition right here, interclass. But this is between all my health systems orientation courses. On the day that we do our listening party, you guys, we're going to vote on your top 3. So for example, you say my favorite one was say group 1. Well, group 1 just got 3 points from you because you voted them your top vote. Your second favorite gets 2 points, and your third favorite gets a point. And so we're going to tally up all the votes, and the top point winners, here's what I'm going to do for them. By the way, this party is going to include the consumption of popcorn and food and listening to everybody's projects. But here's what you get. The overall winners. I'm going to do these things for you guys. Your picture goes right on the wall in the front of the academy, okay? And with a little write-up about you, okay? About how super awesome you are. And by the way, that's a single thought adjective, so we'll put a hyphen there. But how super awesome you are. I put the write-up. By the way, if you want to see last year's winners on our page, right here, we say first annual winners write-up. Now, I'm not going to pull that up because it's got names and faces on it, and this is going on the web. But essentially, a write-up about you guys. By the way, a write-up on both our website on Schoology as well as the Academy Facebook page about your work. So everybody else gets to see how cool you guys are. Now, if you've ever heard of the Onion News, it's kind of like the fake news. And I don't write it up like really serious. I'm kind of a joker about it. So I really exaggerate, and I make this really fun when I write up about you guys. By the way, who else gets to write up? Well, I will tell you this. This sounds really silly, but parents like these things, and you're going to score some serious brownie points, because what I'll do is the winners of that group, I will personally write an email letter to all of your parents saying what you guys had accomplished and what you guys know how to do now, especially with, like, say, Vocaroo, online recording, or just creating a commercial and being creative. How awesome you guys are. You guys are going to, like, seriously, they'll buy an ice cream cone or something, I'm telling you. And then last but not least, every winner in that group, the overall winners, they get a bag of goodies, man, like popcorn. Check this out, hot chocolate, M&Ms, trail mix, peanut butter, cheese quackers, okay? All these things. So here are the things at the bottom of this page. We'll go back and look at this later, but that I want you to keep in mind when you're making your jingle, your song, your commercial, but it is these things. What's our message, and like how does it relate to our audience? Hey, your guys' audience is going to be this. I want you to imagine it's my juniors next year. If I show these or have my juniors next year listen to these commercials, they should get something out of it. Like, they should get a good time out of it, but they should also get some information that's your audience. By the way, I say, what's the desired consumer response? What do I want these guys doing now that they weren't doing before? Like in terms of protecting PHI, or like just being informed about the legislation in the first place. What HIPAA stands for, even. I gotta get on people's cases about spelling that right all the time. What do we want them to do now that they didn't know, do before? What type of arrangement is going to be most appealing for you guys? How are you going to grab people's attention? We call this a hook. Like that's that. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Like, it sticks in your head. What's going to make this not go away? Okay. If you're telling a story, if this is like a voice skit, you don't have to sing. You don't have to have a commercial. It does have to have an intro, body, conclusion is what I ask you for. But what kind of sound effects? Sound effects would be like maybe beneficial. What you can say or do that will appeal to emotions. If you've ever seen like those Sarah McLachlan commercials with a dog, and they've got like in the arms of an angel, and like you're really sad. They don't ever show you 5 million dogs. They show you one dog. They're tearing at your heartstrings. Okay, how are we gonna appeal to their sense of logic? Honestly, what do you have to offer? It's that thing. It's like, it's just that simple. Like, what can you give me after I've listened to this commercial? So again, this project's supposed to be fun, you guys. So the rubric, as far as the rubric goes, this is awesome. This is the smallest rubric I make all year, and it's very general. And so let's just go ahead and take a look at it. By the way, the link to the rubric is found right here. But here it is, guys. Let's just go ahead and look at the threes. I say I'd like for your commercial to be anywhere between 1.5 minutes and 2.5 minutes, 90 to 150 seconds. That's about reasonable. Participation, just need to know that I have no doubt in my mind I could hear everybody's voice in some way, shape, or form in this Vocaroo recording. Organization, I say this clearly, like an intro, body, conclusion. What do you mean? It's a commercial. Like, do you have a hook that gets me into the commercial, like the central information, and then something like an outro, we call it if you were writing a song, like an outro, intro, outro, but that takes us out, okay? That's all I want. And then, by the way, the content. I say all you have to do is clearly identify and pursue one or more of these aspects listed down here. And if you look at these guys. These are all the things that I'm asking us to be really, really proficient with knowing now. That's it. Like, if you're going to work in the medical field, those are the things that I want to know about. So I don't care what combination of those things you use. It's very open-ended because I don't want to say, oh, it's got to be exactly like this. Like, I don't want to do that to you guys. Okay? So here's what you're going to do for the rest of today now that I've introed this project to you. And I do have samples from previous years. Unfortunately, samples from last year, a lot of them are gone because Vocaroo had taken them down. But I'm going to make sure I record them this year and get them on my hard drive. But this document right here is a document that I've put on our page. This document right here. It says Group Jingle Commercial Research Sheet. Now this is a PDF, so you're not going to be able to modify it. But I will tell you this. This is what I'm going to ask from everybody today. I want you to form your groups. Before you leave today, you should know what group you are going to be working with. Okay? Now these need to be groups of about 2 to 3 people. You have to be in a group. I'm going to say it right now. You have to be in a group. You do. You can't do this by yourself. I'm serious. You can't. So 2 to 3 people that you're comfortable with making fools out of yourself with. And I say 2 to 3, and I leave the door open for, get this, 4. Now, 4. I just want to mention about 4 people. It's kind of hard to get everybody's voices in if you have 4 people. Not unless you're creative, and don't let me stifle you. But it can be 2 to 4 people. Just know 2 to 3 is like optimal. So here's what I need from you guys today. I want a group name. I want your group members, so like Joe Schmo, Napoleon, Phil Bart, and Franz Kaput, okay? I don't care. I need to know your names. This email, you're going to email this document to me, but I want you to identify which format you're going for here, like song, jingle, like what a commercial, is that what you're going after? And I say general because, you might declare, hey, we're going to do this in a commercial format, which is, by the way, the most popular, because it could be like any combination of those 3. You can throw those things in, but I want links to like really effective commercials. You guys are basically going to sit around and I want you to emulate commercials that are already out there or something. We had people last year, we had a group do like Billy Mays and what's his name, Anthony whatever, like the sales guys. Or we had a group last year do HIPAA information to the SpongeBob Bun song or something like that. So you're going to sit around, you're going to research commercials that you think are really, really funny. Like for example, if I were to click on this link right here, like YouTube, I've marked this link down. Well, let's see. I can just click on it like that. So this should kick it open over in YouTube, or I can copy and paste it in. I just give you an example of like what you would necessarily be researching, but I want to know commercials that are maybe really funny or really effective. So for example, I love this commercial.
Hello, ladies. Look at your man. Now back to me. Now back at your man. Now back to me. Sadly, he isn't me. But if he stopped using lady-scented body wash and switched to Old Spice, he could smell like he's me. Look down. Back up. Where are you? You're on a boat with the man your man could smell it. What's in your hand? Back at me. I have it. It's an oyster with 2 tickets to that thing you love. Look again. The tickets are now diamond. Anything is possible when your man smells like Old Spice and not a lady. I'm on a horse.
Okay. We're going to have fun with this. This is a way for me to assess your knowledge of HIPAA. And at the same time, we can have fun with it. You guys, don't freak out about it. I'm going to give you plenty of time to work on this stuff. And I can't wait to have our food day. So have a great day with me not at school. And good luck with your stuff.